We all have loud thoughts, so many of them. The anxious ones, the sad ones, the angry ones, the ones that keep us stuck, small, and playing it safe. And then there are our quieter ones, underneath it all. The one that nudges you, the one that knows. I'm Christina, a clairaudient angel messenger and angel Reiki master teacher. I hear the angels speaking to me in my own voice, and I'm here to help you do the inner work to hear yours. This is Awakening to Your Soul Self. Grab a cup of tea, get cozy, and let's cross the bridge together. Please note, I am not a licensed therapist, counselor, or medical professional. Everything shared on this show comes from personal experience and spiritual guidance. If anything resonates deeply and you feel you need additional support, please reach out to a qualified professional. Hello, lovely souls. Welcome back to the Awakening to Your Soul Self podcast. My guest today is Gina. She is an author, a wellness practitioner, the founder of a liberated healer, and her work helps people navigate through the full human experience, which is exactly what we're talking about in season 2 today. And it's trying to find the quieter, the more wiser voice that's kind of beneath all the noise that we've been talking about for season 2. So welcome, Gina.
Thank you. Hello, Christina, and hello, everybody out there. Sending you all a big hug and kiss, light and love.
Perfect. It's a great way to start.
Thanks for having me.
I always ask all my guests to tell us a little bit about themselves and their spiritual awakening or their journey to this moment.
Well, I kind of came in, I think a lot of us come in as children, very spiritual, connected to all things. And then as we kind of move into adulthood, we kind of, and not all of us, but a lot of us, especially in this modern age, especially, we just kind of lose that specialness and the practices that used to be in our people's lives every day. Without that, I feel like people they suffer, they get lost, they lose their purpose in life, they lose community, all kinds of things happen. It's almost like a journey back to that for a lot of people. That is exactly mine, just because maybe of embarrassment or afraid to look too woo-woo or whatever else. I was in the entertainment business in Hollywood, and a lot of my community kind of laughed at things like that.
Right.
Then it's kind of transitioned now into where it's become more acceptable to meditate or do certain things. But it was kind of a minefield for a little while. I was suffering greatly. I had a suicidal ideation on and off for about 2 decades. It didn't come all the time, but when a life event would come, I would just really come in and hit me. And I would move to a 911 situation. And I believe that having that in your life plan or even in your sphere, it's a slow death within itself. It's a painful way to live because until it's healed, that anytime like a big thing comes, like a loss of a job or a breakup or a conflict with someone you care about, you're going to go to that dark place again because you're kind of, you become trained to do that when you suffer from suicidal ideation. So I went on a quest to heal. When I felt like I really had actually healed it, I couldn't believe it. I just wanted to shout it at the mountaintops, like actually be healed. Not saying that your life is going to be conflict free and all the other stuff, but I can't really hold those thoughts anymore. I had like a freedom I had never experienced that, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have to, when these conflicts come, I'm not afraid that I'm going to go into a big hole and want to exit the planet. I started working and I got 2 publishing deals. My first book was with Dr. Amelia Kelly and the Swedenborg Foundation. And it's basically a workbook to help people who are actively in suicidal thoughts. And if they want to do it on their own time or in peace and quiet without asking a doctor or anything, that's called Surviving Suicidal Ideation. And then my second book is Planet Walking, a handbook for the living. It has all my tools in it that I use to heal myself. The meditations, the visualizations, the everything. I channeled this book in 7 weeks and a lot of guides came in, and it really was just, I really didn't do anything else. Just woke up, I did 10,000 words a week. 7 weeks, it was done. I didn't even really look at it. I just sent it to the editor. I only did 1 pass on it. She only did 1 pass on it and it was done. It was just the most incredible expression that came out so quickly. Yeah, I'm just really proud of it because
I mean, that seems like divine intervention right there. You just Send it off and there you go.
Yeah, and the title Planet Walking came from a guide of mine who is an earth angel. I know that you are really into the angels.
Yeah.
Okay, do you want me to go into that story?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
So her name is Sue Whalen, and she says that you can say it with a twang. So I think
Hmm.
that was interesting because after I wrote this book, I was kind of forced to move to Arizona, which I really was resisting, but I really feel like her energy must be here. So earth angels, they are pretty much like the regular angels energetically, but they have had a lot of human lifetimes. And when they come down here, they struggle immensely because they're just all filled with light and empathy and compassion. And there're just so many, if you know, Earth is very hard.
Very.
Even in this, what we're dealing with now today, I mean, it's really because social media and there's so many different avenues for media. I mean, we're bombarded by all the things that just like break your heart on a daily basis. And we can get stuck in that really easily. And if you're a sensitive person, you might decide to exit the planet and because you just cannot see another more painful thing, right? She says that almost every life, that's how she exits the planet because she can't handle it. She says, you are telling my story and I'm going to be with you through this entire book. There's a little bits of snippets into why a human might even choose that. There's a couple things. One thing is they might actually choose that to experience that in that life because that's what they want.
Yeah.
But often or not, they feel like they have maybe had it in their past life. They have a tendency to maybe even think that way because they've done it before and they don't know why they've done it before. And
Yeah.
that was me. So in my past life, and I had actually seen this happen, and I that first I healed it physically on this planet, like now, like in my mind and in my heart. But afterwards, I had all some spiritual experiences through meditation that showed me where I had done things like that. And I was able to go to that old version of me and give myself a healing and forgive myself.
Wow. Meditation's so powerful.
Yeah, so I cleared it in those past lives as well. So I first cleared it here and then I cleared it
Yep.
now. And a part of this life, I'm getting chills all over. Okay. So the part of this life plan for me, and we all come in with like a certain amount of goals.
Right.
Number one for me was to heal my suicidal ideation. That was it. Even if I didn't do it until I was 90 years old, that was my number one goal. So I'm in my 50s now. So I feel like I won. And then like everything else is just like I have other goals, but I actually feel like, oh, I won my life plan. But Sue Ellen, I just loved her so much, and her energy would come in. And she told me that she's still on the earth plane, energetically supporting people who are going through this and just showering them with love and trying to be that angel on their shoulder saying, no, please don't do it. No, please don't do it. The way she did it with her little twang, she's like, I loved Planet Walk. So I went, oh, I love that title. She basically named that part of the book
Amazing.
Walking. Then a handbook for the living actually came from the Tim Burton movie Beetlejuice because I remember when that movie came out as a kid and I was like, oh, a handbook for the recently deceased. I think we need a handbook for the living. So when my publisher asked me, I was like, oh my God, I got to put that in there because that was my whole life. I always wanted to do that. Like,
Yeah.
so it's basically like a little mini Bible and I get to things really quickly. So I think that helps with like the way people are ingesting content nowadays because it's just they just want to get to the meat. And then if they want to go further, they can find like if they want to be into astrology, they want to go really deep, you know what I mean? But some people just want to know a little bit enough to talk about it or to understand it.
Yeah.
So I kind of wrote the book like that. I have all my tools in it to that for meditation and healing and everything you could learn to blow the energy and to look at past lives and things like that. But it's almost like a little bit of a glossary, like here are what ghosts are and where they come from and how they affect us.
Yeah.
And that could just be one page. So it's just basically me envisioning me as a little girl going, I don't understand why I'm so sensitive and why
Aw.
it's really bugged me and I feel everything. it's, it helps people even like that. And it's very kind and loving and gentle in that way and not abrasive. So
That sounds amazing.
yeah.
Like, I wish I had the book before we started recording this. So, Sue Ellen, she sounds amazing. Since you said that she pretty much gave you the title, what was your first experience with her? How did she show up for you? If you're ready to start quieting the loud thoughts and connecting with your soul self, I have a free gift for you. My Home on the Other Side meditation is available right now at ChristinaAngelMessenger.com. It's my way of helping you begin your journey. The link is in the show notes.
I just hear the words, and I actually, well, I saw a picture. There's a picture I drew of her. So the picture was very much like, I think her last life here was like in the 1850s or something. And she had the whole curly hair with the big bonnet and stuff, very
Oh,
Western looking with the really high collar. So I think she was showing me like a version of herself recently. And that's why she had that Southern twang, as I think she probably
I was
lived,
gonna say, yeah.
is definitely very Southern. And she explained to me that a part of what's happening when someone becomes suicidal is we're like onions in a way with
Yeah.
layers. And when we're going through a major transition in life, like I said, like losing your job, getting a divorce, or you're grieving, you lost a family member or a child or something very traumatic or something that really gets you, what's actually happening, even if you're going through spiritual changes, it's just like, wow, I don't resonate with that group anymore.
Right. Yep.
Think about someone who got indoctrinated in as a gang at like age 8 because they didn't know what else to do, but that's not who they are anymore. They have to try to find a transformation on, because we all have this complicated life journey. We all come through, made almost all of us, 99% of pure light,
Right.
every single one of us. So we might have a journey to get back to that. So she was explaining that what happens when you're going through a massive transformation like that is almost like that layer is falling off of you, that it's like an onion, that piece of you,
Yeah.
almost like a snake shedding their skin is painful. Actually, when a snake sheds its skin, or a crab or anything like that, it hurts,
Right.
right? But then they're
Yeah.
not all shiny and new and they have like a new life. But that journey to shed that skin is so scary and painful as us as humans. And it's a part of our identity that we're
Yeah.
losing. And that really struck a chord with me, because the one time I was the most suicidal was when I went through my first divorce. He was a singer in a rock band, and we had all our friends, and it was punk rock. And I wasn't really able to talk about this side of my passion. And he just came home one day and he was like, I'm leaving you. And I fell to the ground. And I loved this person so much. For about a year, I just would imagine under the tree, he asked me to marry him, that I would go and end my life there. Like I would just sit there and look at it. Like I was envisioning it. I mean, I was so close, so close. I just
Right.
wanted to go. And in reflection after the healing, it was like, I just didn't want that part of me to go away.
Mm,
I didn't want it to go away. I didn't want to lose my title with him. I didn't want to lose him. I didn't want to lose my friends. I didn't want to
right.
lose that whole world. And it was changing whether I wanted to or not. He was
Right.
gone. Anything I could do about it. And but I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to change. It's sort of like I was losing that part of me that I identified with. A lot of times that's when people are, that's why you hear a lot of stories like people who are in severe debt or whatever.
Right.
They don't want to think their friends are going to think less of them. They think of me as a successful person and things like that. So, but earth angels are around us all the time. All kinds of angels, as you know, are around.
100%. Yeah.
She says anybody can call on her. So now that you know her name, if anybody feels that,
Okay.
we can send her Sue Ellen. She's just probably like the highest vibrational of love you'll ever experience. She will hold
Oh,
you and guide you through the moments where you're, because she's too afraid to come back right now, because she always leaves that way. But she really wants to get the stories out as much as possible,
right.
knowing that people, as they share it, they release it. She actually
Yeah.
gave me a vision. that I would love to see one day would be a meditation like parks dedicated to those.
Oh,
And it's like no fee entry, and it's just beautifully designed and decorated places that people can meditate and be quiet. And there's always like a waterfall dedicated to people who have lost their lives through suicide. And all my work is done through roses because you need a container system because people are visual. So
yes.
I use that as a way to explain energy. So there would be roses all over the meditation center, and she wants them all over the world. Just places we could all go to
Yeah.
peace and be quiet and help us reflect and build community and things like that. So another big thing she told me, which I'm coming through right now, is she said we need to change the word from purgatory. We can't. That is a human construct that we create,
100%.
and it's negative and it's not true. It's like a place humans create to shame ourselves.
Yes.
So she wants to call it, and this is where also the physical, the garden of souls.
Okay.
She says if someone does pass through that, they go to the garden of souls. They don't go to purgatory.
Yeah.
She asked that she was like, we need to change that word.
We do.
Yeah.
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 But that vision just sounds so yummy. Like that needs to happen eventually. I don't know when, if it will be during our lifetime or not, but
Yeah. Well, we write it down and we get it out there, and one day, whether
yes.
it's here or not, hopefully it'll come about. 100 years and actually light in lifetimes is not that long, I guess.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what did Sue Ellen help you understand about being here on Earth?
Well, she helped me understand that we design our blue, and this is like kind of in depth, but we actually
Yes,
design our blueprint before we come here. So
I agree.
we have hundreds of past lives, each one of us. We don't bring in all the information of all of them because that would be overwhelming.
Right.
We almost get a mind wipe. We don't even remember them that much, but we come in with at least 2, 3, or 4 in our blueprint that are signposts of things that we really need to work on, that are something that we repeat over and over again.
Yeah.
And it could be abuse or suicidal ideation or victimhood or anything, right? So
Yeah.
there are patterns that our soul wants to clear out and be done with, and kind of move on to the next thing that we have to work on.
Yeah.
And so she helped me explain that was like a signpost that I had to heal in this life. I think that was really interesting because, again, I healed it first before I kind of wrote the book or talked to her and learned the in-depth reasons. That was really helpful because I was like, oh, okay, so this was absolutely something that was just written into my plan. Yeah.
Sometimes you need that other perspective when you're kind of like in the nitty gritty. The angels always give it in a different perspective and a more higher vibrational point of view than when you're in. I always say that we're spiritual beings in human bodies. Like we're like half in and half out.
Yeah. And I was interesting enough, I got to see the vision of my past life, of where I did it and who was in the room and who I was married to and who I was with and how it affected those people. I actually had just met the person probably about 2 months before that.
Oh, wow.
My husband. And when I met him, I just had this like cold like download come to me. And so very systematically through meditation, I saw what happened. And in meeting him was just, I'm getting chills again. It was a giant healing. I really never thought I would have those deep spiritual experiences. I just thought, I'm going to sit here and meditate and do little healings. Oh yeah, I feel energy. I feel good and grounded and all that stuff, But, and these really big, impactful spiritual moments, they don't happen that often. They might only happen once a year, right? But when you get them, they're transformational, and they keep you going to the next one.
Yeah.
But then it kind of keeps you as like, oh, wow. I'm kind of glad I don't get them all the time because I think I would be living too much in the stars, like, because I need to be grounded to get to talk to people and to be here and create businesses and healing online classes and stuff, whatever I do create to help people. But yeah, I think that was my biggest shock of all. I mean, think about that. I actually saw the person who I did it in front of and who I was married to I
Can't
met
even
him
imagine.
at an event like 3 months before that. It was, and I told him the whole story. I had to, because it was just too poignant. It was really interesting. And meeting him, and because I told him the story, he was very spiritual. He's still a really good friend of mine. I just had an unbelievable healing. I could feel it like leave my body.
Yeah, feel lighter.
Oh my God. I couldn't, it's not, light isn't even the word. It felt like I was free. Yeah, I was free from the shame of that life, of doing that, because the shame continues. Shame is such a,
It's a low vibrational.
it's the most, shame, judgment, and criticism are the three lowest vibrations that you could put in your body, and that you can
Yeah.
throw on other people. And shame is used in cults. Shame is used in all kinds of different stuff, and it's
Yep.
shame, 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 shame. And I mean, we know it just does not feel good, right? But
Yes.
it can get woven into your mind, body, and spirit. It can just get woven in. And
Yeah.
that's where we beat ourselves up. That's where we, can think about taking ourselves out and things like that. And it is so important nowadays. We are seeing 10-year-olds leaving the planet and things like that. I always say also, number one, kids are going to mimic the adults. But if the adults didn't do it or think about it or have it in the media or have it there, they wouldn't even know about it, right?
Yeah.
So they're just mimicking what adults do. So if, as adults, say if we were like, I was an unhealed child from this all stemmed from childhood abuse. I was unhealed.
Hmm.
I went right into the workforce, right into marriages, right in, and I never worked on it.
Yeah.
I was an unhealed child, then an unhealed adult. And then when life crashes, I was crashing everywhere, right? So
Right.
is that, but the difference is when you're an adult, you can make those decisions. I need to heal this.
Yes.
However you do it, there's a million different roads you can take.
Right.
Angels, exercise, therapy, water sports. I mean, there's a million, music.
Yeah.
But when you become an adult and you know that you have unhealed parts, I believe that you need to really work on that. And the
Yes.
practitioners like myself need to be very gentle and kind and just usher them up the stairs or down the stairs
Hmm.
if you want to go, but usher gently into where
Yeah.
they need to go without shame, fear, or judgment, and just support them to release whatever it is need to release. But if you have shame in your body, and you can tell by if I say that word, you feel it.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll have a quick little tool for you guys. So
Yes.
you do a little like one of those old parking meters, visualize an old parking meter, 0 to 100, right? And then you
Yeah.
kind of put on the outside of you and then ground it, like, so you give it some grounding all the way to the center of the earth where the lava is, right? You imagine the
Hmm.
100 and you just like close your eyes and say, how much shame is in my space right now? And you can see like a number. I even can see my number. I
Yeah.
actually have a pretty high number right now because I just went through something. So that means I need to go and release that energy and release the shame and things like that. And then
Yeah.
do whatever your energy work is. Like mine is like golden suns and flushing your body with colors and grounding and all that stuff. But find the tools that work for you. But like, and I love that because people go, I have a lot. And then you go and you do some meditation, you come back and you look, and then the number's lower.
Right.
And trust yourself because the first number is always right.
100%.
Yeah. So it's a good little tool though. It's fun because when I do classes, people start to visualize and they see the changes, and especially when they do it with other people in the class, it feels very, it's light. This isn't like indoctrination, heavy, sign a contract,
Right.
this, be that. No, it's just visualizations and energy.
Did your spirit team send you a sign or message this week? I want to hear about it. Submit it through the Soul Self template on my website for a chance to win a free private 15-minute session with me. One listener is chosen every month. Details are in the show notes. Don't miss your chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, visualizations, meditations. I think that's why there's so many different modalities because not one tool is for everybody. I've always said whatever works for you. And everybody has different gifts. So, for example, if I were to close my eyes and do that visualization, I just see black. Like, I don't see that.
Really?
Yeah, I hear things more
Oh,
and feel things more.
okay.
So, when I would do it, I would probably hear it. Or sometimes they'll try, like with the blackness that I see, sometimes they'll try chalk, but it doesn't always work for me.
Okay.
So,
Do you have any shame in your body? Can you tell? Let's see for the listeners.
I heard the word 50.
I got 53. Yeah.
And I think part of being a human is that we're always going to have to work on ourselves. We're always going to have to work with those low vibrational energies that I think that's why sometimes exercise works a lot for good for people because it's a way to let that out.
Yes.
Meditations, drawings.
I was married to a surfer. My second husband was a surfer, and like that guy was not depressed at all. He would just go, and I always said, "Wow!" And I would go hang out with his friends and stuff, and I was like, "I've never met a really depressed surfer." And I was like, "Oh, it's because when they go in the water, they get so grounded, and their whole aura gets cleansed by the salt water."
Oh my gosh, I never thought of that.
And so if you're feeling funky, go in a bathtub, put some salt in there. You know what I mean? And be a surfer.
Or in nature in general, sometimes I'll just sit on the grass
Yeah.
and just like be united with the ground.
Yeah.
There's something really powerful about nature and how high vibrational it is.
The other cool thing about my book is, and you might like this, is if you can find a divination tool that you can use is get a yes and no question, show you how to do that. The book has how to find your specific themes and gifts in this lifetime.
Okay.
Okay. And that changed in this. I only found this out like right before the book, and it kind of downloaded to me. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I found out that I was a cipher, and I didn't even know, honestly, I'm so embarrassed. I didn't even know what that word meant. I had to look it up. But it was where I just taken the information that was given to me and I share it with the world. And it helped me so much to focus on my healing practice and business, because when you start going into the healing, right, you're like, oh, should I be a shaman or a hands-on healer or a channeler? And you can do little bits of everything, but I didn't know what was I was kind of getting lost into different areas. And then I was like, it kind of feels right. And I like a little bit of it. So when mine was cipher, and I was like, oh, that's writing. And it really actually clicked for me. So some people, I feel like they thrive when they know what their theme is.
Yeah.
Because it helps them like narrow it down a little bit. What I got was, because I kind of wanted to be a shaman for a little while, but then what I got, it was just like, it wasn't, I could have a little passion for it and a little understanding for it, but I would never be able to understand like the levels of all the different tools that you need. Like they use lots of different ashes and flowers and essence and things like that I didn't have that mental capacity to understand that. And I really don't. And so, but I was like, oh, that's off my table. It helped. It just helped me kind of narrow it in. The number one people who feel lost through sometimes what their life purpose is.
Yes.
And when people ask me that, like even all the way, like, hey, I retired and I never got to do anything I love.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So now I don't know what to do. We all have like a thing. We really do. So this will help them find their thing and help them narrow it down. And it could be anything, as in like, you're supposed to be a political activist. That's not supposed to be all of us. But it could be something like that, or you're supposed to be a nurse, or you're supposed to be, it's a lot of different things. Or you being a loner is important for you in this life.
Yeah, I think it's important to, if you can, find out what you're meant to do here and what your gifts are, because I believe that we all have two things. We all have free will and we all have gifts. And of course, it's our free will whether we want to do what's aligned in our purpose or not. But if you have that little nudge and you kind of have that little almost preview of what you're supposed to do, instead of being overwhelmed by everything, then I think more people would go towards their purpose.
Yeah. Yes. It helped me.
Yeah, I'll have to get to that part in the book. a lot of the book you said you worked with Sue Ellen and you got a lot of downloads. What was there anything that like you got a download and that just changed your whole perspective on your journey? Or just like any particular knowledge that you thought you knew about something and you were like, whoa, I did not know that.
You know what's been really interesting? Because I downloaded it. I got another message just recently in through a meditation channeling, and it
Yeah.
said this book, and it's I don't know, it's a she for some reason. It said she's not done yet. She goes, you need to go back through it, even though we know you know it like the back of your hand. There's going to be aha moments in it that you need to focus in on. And so I'm actively going through the book again. And I think that that's beautiful and really interesting. So I'm still finding the aha moments in it myself. There's there's a fun little thing to protect your energy that I love too, called the disco ball. It's literally
Okay.
like you because sometimes, especially the people that are very sensitive to energy, we get overwhelmed really fast. If you go to a festival, right, and everybody is like,
Yeah.
you just have to or a concert or something, or you're at a conference and you just have to go lay down. Like you just
Yeah.
like you just go like that. That means you have all those people's energies like just stuck to you.
Yes.
Before you're going to go to anything like that, even like maybe before work or wherever you do, you can just do a little grounding and imagine you're inside of a disco ball with all like golden or white light, and then
Ooh.
all the mirrors on the outside, it just reflects everybody energy away from you. I love that one, especially if I'm going to be at a conf somewhere where there's hundreds of people
Hundreds of people. Yeah.
all over me. I just put myself in a disco ball, and like I just love that. I just love that visual and
Ooh.
that idea of like, and I kind of get like kind of cocky, like nobody throw some energy at me, girl. Just go ahead. It's just gonna go.
Gonna deflect right off.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I know for me, being an empath, and I'm just highly sensitive to people's energy in general, I have to shower at night and just imagine the water is just I'm like, just take what energy does not belong to me and restore what belongs to me because I don't love being in places where there's a bunch of people because I just feel everything from everybody. And then I end up catching their emotions. Like if they're angry for some reason, then I turn like upset about things that I'm not normally upset about. So I'm gonna try that disco ball
Try to
experiment
do
there.
some. But also, I'm trying to look really quickly for there's a water blessing that I got downloaded too.
Oh, cool.
They say it with the blessing that came in. It just came in a couple days ago. So while you're drinking it or holding it or in the shower, you
Yeah.
need to give water likes to be commanded, but not a negative way, but it likes to get instruction because
Okay.
it has a consciousness. Water has a consciousness. What you do is you kind of do your own little practice and you say, or something like this, I am commanding this water with love and gratitude to offer me health, vitality, and self-love. I am trusting this water's ability to send the energy information in the perfect ways necessary. As I consume or let this fall around me, I'm grateful for this pure water. Then you can even put some water in moonlight. You know how people go and
Yes.
put their crystals in moonlight? You can actually
Yeah.
put a karass of water and put it in moonlight at night.
Ooh.
Yep, you can electrically charge it. You can say to the moon to bring down the electrical charge of balancing and alignment into the water. You can also say, I connect with water that I will eventually consume to the alignment of the moon with the energetic channel from one to water and allow the moon to electrify this. And then you can say at the end, and easily and joyfully to offer me health, vitality, and I'm grateful for this pure water. Something like that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Exactly like that, but just the intention.
It's all about the intention.
I've been doing that I have a craft and it has has anyways, and I have some copper around it and some other things around it. I always tell it as it is entering my body that it's going to where it needs to go and healing to the places it needs to heal. So because water's a consciousness, it does like that direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Everything has a consciousness. So yeah. But people forget about water for some reason, even though it feels good and they like it and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's wonderful, but it wants to be a partner with us in healing. Yeah.
Yeah,
My,
I guess I'm one of those people that didn't think about water.
my next book is going to be about channeling the living waters on the planet. And because I've developed for me, spirit, like I feel like people have different spiritual journeys, but for
Yes.
me, it was healing myself,
Yep.
loving myself, then loving others and healing others and teaching them. Now it's healing the planet. I have a patent pending on a container system that's for beauty, laundry, and cleaning supplies that is called BioGood Products. It's going to get rid of trillions of single-use plastics a year.
Good.
I'm working with investors to build that prototype. I have a patent pending, and then I'm going to channel all the oceans and living waters because there's literally plastic falling from the sky at this point.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's getting in our brain and our lungs and 100% our DNA. And we're all, toxic. Everything and like you have to, I always go back to the children. Like we have to think about the kids, what they're inheriting.
100.
So if you have to think about it, even if you don't care about yourself, think about the animals and the kids that you're leaving behind.
Yes.
Because we can't get all our problems. We can, oh, too bad.
Right.
We want to have that conversation. We all wanted to have big CEO, money
Right.
and not pay for what really needs to be taken care of. So I don't know.
Yeah, I've been drinking more water than I normally have. And I just felt called to. I'm only drinking, a plastic water bottle, and it's just not enough for a whole day. So I bought like those Stanley cups. I don't know if they're much safer or not, but for some reason that just reminds me more to drink. I don't know if it's the color of the cup, but I digress. It
Okay.
does feel so different. Like the more water you drink, you just feel better.
Yeah. I make electrolytes every day. Blessed purified water, honey, lime, and salt. So I have
Oh,
like
okay.
2 of those a day. I have them, they look like this.
Okay.
All me and all my friends now, we just do it. We have two, we just pre-make them in the morning and then we sip on them, especially after working out or anything like that. Because we need those
Right.
electrolytes balance. Yeah. So look it up online.
100.
They have really good that helps with getting the toxins out and stuff too. And yeah. So sometimes just water is not enough. That's why I'm saying that.
Okay. Good to know. So for my listeners who are kind of just beginning to think about spiritual guidance, because I have listeners who've listened to me the whole time and some that haven't. So, spiritual guidance about angels, earth angels, spirit. What do you want them to know, and what connections have worked for you that might work for others?
Especially when you're very first starting out, like I said, there's just so many different routes to go. But the most key thing to remember is that each of us are born with a spark of the purest form of
Yeah.
intense beauty, love, and light. It's actually right beneath, there's a tiny speck of light. It's almost like each one of us have it, and it's
Yeah.
behind our solar plexus and the center of our body. And that's what keeps us balanced and kind of like, and this center of light is always pulling us into the directions we need to go and to use our intuition. Even if you're not in love with the idea of spirituality or ready for that right now, it's okay. I'll come at the right timing, but just know that you are just as awesome and special and beautiful and made of that light. Everything good is in that light, as in the best giggles with your girlfriends or boyfriends,
Mm,
the childlike wonder that you feel when you see a butterfly or a hummingbird or a horse or something like that. Just remember that you are that, even when you go through all these things that seemingly are important. We've given money and finances and debt and all this stuff so much value. The truth is, this is the value.
yeah.
This is where your value is. It's the most valuable thing you own. So even if you lose everything, just remember you have the most valuable thing you own inside yourself that nobody can ever take it away. And I feel like we need to be strong. I think we need to stand in our seniority. We need to be individually powerful. And then we can come together and build community. If we have a bunch of people that feel that way, that's like, I'm free, you don't own me, this and that. Like we're being beaten down by so many different organizations, but whether we know it or not, taking
Yeah.
away that joy. So just remaining in there, Yeah, there's different things about life that sucks. It has for the beginning of time. There was times where we couldn't eat, or the people were barbaric, and like
Right.
we're actually better than we were in a lot of different areas a couple hundred years ago.
Yeah.
It's just, we have to remember that. So that's always my message, is about how beautiful the individual is. Yeah.
Beautiful. I kept hearing, uh, I don't know, have you seen the movie Soul from Disney?
Yes.
They kept repeating, there's this one point where, they discover their spark.
Yeah.
And when you were talking about the light and things, they were like, that's what she's talking about, finding the light, finding their gifts and their purpose.
I'm getting chills.
So,
I worked at Disney, was one of my first jobs when I was 19.
oh my gosh, you did?
And I loved it. I worked on the lot, and I just thought it was magical. I thought my life was going to be so magical. I'm like, what, I'm working on movies and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It didn't quite turn out that way. And entertainment business is going through kind of its own transformation, which everything has to. But
Right.
I love that Soul was actually a beautiful expression, and that they were able to create a film like that was so positive. I love seeing positive messages, content.
Yes.
I actually have a nonfiction book series. I mean, a fiction book series that I wrote, sort of like Harry Potter, that my agent's trying to sell right now.
Okay.
It's just filled of light and like morale and interesting
Yeah.
storylines. And but it's, a lot of people don't want that right now. They want the gory and the dark and the this and that. I've never participated in that in my own creations. I always want to tell people, like, if you're ingesting that on a daily basis, it's different if it's like you're watching a documentary and it's educational and you're having to get
Yeah.
informed. But if you're watching a slasher movie or a horror film and you don't know why you feel crappy, I don't know. It's I believe it's that energy gets transferred through, even
100%.
through visuals, and you could take the energy on easy.
Yeah, I cannot watch horror, thriller. I can't do it because I pick up on the energy so much. There are, like, I think some of the Disney movies do a great job of the positivity. I think some of them like sprinkle little downloads in there, like little messages.
Probably.
The one movie that I talked about a couple weeks ago was Inside Out 2, where they talk about the emotions of this teenage girl. And Spirit brought it to me as thinking of it as some of the other emotions were a little bit lower. They're all important emotions. And then you have like joy, who's really high vibrational and happy, but you need some of the lower to balance out the high
Yeah.
because you're just a human.
Well, I talk about the light and the dark and how it works together. And, you also light and dark and gray. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We wouldn't learn if it was just all light, we would just be floating around like in this.
We'd be like little clouds.
But seeing how it can cover something up, like for example, like my life path that was suicide, which is considered dark, right? But it
Yeah.
really wasn't, in a way, because I opened up the shades and I pulled it back and I got to look in. So like I needed that, I guess, in those moments, which was really scary and sad. But I got to really literally like pull the shades back and just now shine the light on it. Once you do that, you just never forget that. And I'm so proud of myself. That wasn't easy.
You should be. I think it's a beautiful conversation that we're having about spirituality, emotions, her earth angel, which she said that you all can connect with. I believe there's many earth angels, angels, archangels, guides, loved ones that are part of your spirit team that are guiding us to live our highest purpose, our highest path, and try some of the tools that she suggested. I really enjoyed the water one. Good.
Sorry.
I just got one more question before we wrap it up.
Okay.
So, Gina, you have Planet Walking, but I believe you have a 6-week journey to becoming the liberated healer. Can you talk about that experience in that program?
Yes, thank you. It's in my book. It's 6 weeks. Every day you have an activity to do. It actually is also, there is a portion that do talk to people who do experience suicidal ideation, but you can just ignore that part, or you don't even need to have that. It's really just about the tools to heal. You can get there, and each week has a different animal or something that was channeled in. Like week 3 is the horse, and they tell
Beautiful.
you what it is. 3, education, how light and the dark affects us, soul blueprints, guides, angels, entities, guardians, and removing dark energy is week 3. Within the 6 weeks, it's just you have a complete tool set, an education, basically on how to almost deal with anything coming your way in life. So
Perfect. And what do you want listeners to walk away from this conversation?
Community and is so important. People like you doing what you're doing, me doing what we're doing, then this is the thing that I've been hearing a lot lately. You need to give people the opportunity to help other people. So what I mean by that is I was very prideful and I thought I could do everything on my own. And then I also felt alone. It is very important. There are people out there that love each and every one of us. We have to communicate when we need them and give them an opportunity to help us. So what I mean by that is if you are in a bad space or anything, or just need a friend, just say, hey, I'm going through something right now. Would you mind if you're on my call sheet? If I need you, what might you be available? 9 times out of 10, or 10 times out of 10, almost they'll say, of course, thank you for letting me in. Thank you for letting me know. It's that opportunity to give people a chance to love us. And we get so strong, we feel like we can't reveal that. But what we also is we're taking away their right to love us, their right to be there for us. And I'm not saying do it all the time where it's like, because then they're not going to pick up the phone. But there needs to be a balance. But a lot of people that feel like they can't share anything, it's like you're not letting people love you.
Yeah.
So let people love you. Give them the opportunity to be that best friend. That's how best friends are created, because you have experiences together. You go through the train wreck together and you come out the other side. So
Beautiful, Gina. So to wrap up this episode, I always like guests to tell the listeners where they can find you, your website, social media, and where they can get your book.
Well, my book is everywhere you can get books. Of course, Amazon. And if you do a review, it'd be really amazing. Simon & Schuster is actually my distributor. You can get it there. Gina Cavalier on Instagram, and theliberatedhealer.com is where you can find, I'm available for one-on-one healings. I'm building classes and courses. You can even just send me a note and ask me if you have any questions and things like that. Yes, I'm happy I get back to every single person.
That's amazing, Gina. Thank you so much for today in this conversation.
Thank you.
Spiritually aligned, and feel Sue Ellen in the background.
Yes,
And twang.
Book of Sue Ellen if you want to see her.
Thank you so much, Gina. Lovely souls, have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next week. Quieter voice, your intuition, your angels, your soul self. It's always there. Keep doing inner work to find it. Today's episode resonated, and hit follow or subscribe so we can keep crossing the bridge together. I'll see you next time.